Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to MIT Insta Live. Image is inside out. It is a reflection of who we are. I repeat, image is inside out. It is a reflection of who we are. How many of you agree or disagree to it? Kindly put it down in the chat box. Yes, I can't see any replies. Hello, yes, can I have how many of you agree or disagree to the fact that image is inside out, a reflection of who we are? Okay, I had one response, I agree, from Rogers. Anybody else? Can I see some more messages coming in, please? Can I have some messages? Okay, let us proceed. 7%, it is a survey found that it takes us only 7 seconds to form a first impression. Yes, it takes us only 7 seconds. And within that first impression, people form judgment about us, about our education qualification, about our knowledge, about our financial status, about where we come from, where we shop, and a whole lot many things. So can we take a chance with first impression? We have often heard the statement that don't judge a book by its cover. But at a subconscious level, we all do, isn't it? I'm sure you all would agree with me over here. So let me tell you, once what happened was, I just finished my workshop in Mumbai. And after the workshop, I found that there was one lady who was waiting to speak to me. Now, I could see her that she was patiently waiting at one corner, waiting for all the fathers to finish talking. When she came up to me, I found that she was simply dressed in a simple, neat and clean salwar kurta. Her hair was curly and she was a bit hesitant. She came up and asked me that, what you just said, will it work for me also? I found that while she was speaking, she was not confident about what she was saying. She was having an internal dialogue with herself that probably she is not fit to be in the larger group. She is not confident to put her best self forward. And this constant dialogue within herself made her feel that probably she is ungraceful. She is inappropriately dressed, and furthermore, it brought her self-esteem down. So we took up a session with her and covered all these 5 elements, which is ABCDE of image management. So let us discover what are these 5 elements. When we talk of A stands for your appearance, which takes into account your grooming and at the same time your body language as well. So appearance is all about being appropriately dressed. Appropriately dressed for what? Appropriately dressed for the occasion, for the location, and keeping your roles and goals in mind. What is the objective with which you are dressing up? What's the event like? So remember that when you dress well, the way you dress, it affects the way you think, the way you feel, the way you respond, and the way others respond to you. So it's a complete circle, which we call it as the image circle. Now, Some people might argue that clothes do not matter. Well, how many of you have read the autobiography of Steve Jobs? Can you put in over here? How many of you have read the autobiography of Steve Jobs? Well, assuming that most of you have read, let me share something with you. Now, Steve Jobs was very comfortable in his jeans, as we all know it, and with his skivvy that he used to wear. Now, when he used to go for any of his meetings, he was more comfortable to be wearing in casual clothes. One day, it so happened that he was going for his meeting, and his partner kept on telling him that wear a business suit. And he said, let me give it to Miss. I am much better with my high-collared what I wear. So he gave it to Miss, and when he went for his meeting, he lost that deal because the gentleman said, I cannot trust a person who would be changing the world who himself is not dressed in a business suit. Steve Jobs went suit for himself, and he called it as an investment suit or a fundraising suit. And in his autobiography, he has written that he would be wearing that you need to be wearing a business suit unless and until you raise to an occasion, you raise to a position where people cannot question what you're wearing. So clothes do matter. In today's time, we do find that the work attire in your corporate world has changed. We find people wearing from your college shirts to khaki pants to blazers to jackets. And at the same time, the women have started wearing from saris to dresses to kurtas with straight pants and skirts and dresses. So we have a wide variety of clothes that you can choose from and portray your personal style the way you would want others to perceive you. We cannot leave our grooming behind. You need to be sharply dressed for the occasion. So that was all about appearance. At the same time, you have to be appropriately dressed and look attractive as well. Now, next, let's talk about B. That is about behavior, building your credibility. So when you are building your credibility, you have to be in the best of your behavior. You have to portray the behavior that you would want people to respond to. For etiquette, when it comes to etiquette, it is all about establishing a rapport with people. It is about knowing them. It's about respecting them. It's about being in your best self. Remember, people like to do business with people whom they like. Moving on to C, which is communication. It is communicate to connect. How many of you feel that listening is also a part of communication? Listening and speaking are two sides of the same coin. So when we talk of communication, there are 4 V's that we need to keep in mind. The first V that I would be talking about is your verbal communication. When you're talking verbally, it's not only interpersonal, what you're talking with others, but it's also about what you are talking to yourself. It's intra-dialogue as well, because as we understand, what you speak to yourself plays a really, really important role in projecting your self-image to others. So be very careful with the words that you use when you are communicating with yourself or you are talking to others. Next, we will talk about the vocal tone. So what about the vocal language? What about your tonality? Your tonality has got the emotions. People connect to you. The way you the way you speak to them. So always remember your pitch, how you are speaking, whether it is at a high pitch or whether it is at a low pitch. What about the pause? Are you pausing in between? Or you are just rushing through things? The pace, the speed is equally important that you need to keep in mind. And last but not the least, what we have it is power. So speak with confidence when you are talking. The third V that I'm going to talk about is your visual, which is people read your body language. Amy Cuddy, a social psychologist, said that you can change your body language and help people to change the perception about you. For example, keep your shoulders straight, your head held high. You will automatically start feeling confident about yourself. When you're speaking to people, maintain eye contact and speak to them. That way people respond to you. Now, that doesn't mean that we would be staring at their eyes. No, not at all. But what we can do is that you can look into their eyes, and at the same time, how about, just looking to the right or left? And when you are breaking the eye contact, it's a good idea, to slightly move to the right, look around for a fraction of a second, and then again maintain eye contact. The fourth V that I'm going to talk about is about virtual. We all are living in the world of social media. And here our digital platform, our digital communication plays a very, very important role. So when we are talking about our digital communication, remember that here deliberate comes into play, because we are trying to communicate or put up to the social media what we want others to think, feel about us. How many of you have Googled yourself and seen what has come up? Any responses? Have you Googled yourself and seen that when you Google your name, what comes up? Okay, so whatever comes up that is what the social media, that's what people perceive about you in the digital world. So don't put up anything over there that you wouldn't want people to know about you. Be mindful of what you are putting into the social world, into the social media. As in today's time, people meet you virtually before they go and meet you in person. And the last E that I'm going to talk about is experience. This is about engagement experience, and at the same time be mindful, be emotionally connected, mindful when you are talking to people. So the same lady, when she came back and after the session, she told me how this ABCD image had helped her to be more confident, to portray her best etiquette, to communicate and build rapport with people. So thank you over here, and any questions, I would love to take it up. Thank you.